Have you read a story in the Draoithe Saga and come away with a classic case of immersion after effect? Let me guess, there are questions which remain unanswered even as the magic expanded, adding another layer to the dream. The grand desire to turn the page to discover what happened next ended with the last leaf turned. If you're asking where the remedy for the book hangover is, you know the answer: read another story. But you aren't ready for the next tale, not yet. The dust needs to settle before you pick up the next volume. So you have found your way here. You aren't alone. Even the author can't get enough. As you hear this, Ophelia Key writes on. But allow me to offer you a possibility, a reflection on the tale you recently finished, and a way to revisit the story to ease the story blues. Welcome to the Draoithe Saga After Party. Warning, spoiler alerts ahead. Turn back now if you wish to read the story blind.
All right, so today we're going deep into a world of shifters and fated mates and ancient magic.
Oh, wow.
Are you ready for this?
I am so ready.
Okay.
Oh.
We are talking A Pack Forms.
Okay.
The first volume in the Kingdom Rising miniseries.
Right.
Which is part of this massive Draoithe Saga. It's like paranormal romance meets magical realism with a dash of urban fantasy.
Yeah, and what's really cool about the Draoithe Saga is it actually chronicles the founding of an entire immortal kingdom.
Oh.
And Pack Forms is giving us just like a glimpse into how that all begins.
I love it. Okay, so we meet Eli Miller.
Yes.
A high school history teacher, just living her best life in Tyler, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
She's all about gardening her kids and keeping things peaceful.
Yeah, very, very peaceful.
Then we have Luke Mendes.
Yes.
A retired Green Beret colonel who moves in next door, carrying the weight of PTSD and searching for a fresh start.
So very different world.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about a clash.
And it's a snowstorm of all things that throws them together.
Oh, wow.
Almost immediately there's a spark between them.
Really?
Like fate had a hand in this.
Wow.
Even before they officially met.
Okay, so this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
They establish a mental link after becoming intimate.
What?
Eli is completely blindsided by this.
Yeah.
She had no idea this kind of connection was even possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complete invasion of her mental privacy.
Right.
And it raises so many questions about what it means and why it's happening.
Exactly.
Especially because Luke had asked other shifters about this link, and they told him it only works one way.
Really?
With the alpha male sensing the female, not the other way around.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this two-way link is new.
Yeah.
And it throws another layer of mystery into their already complicated situation.
Absolutely.
So Luke, trying to make sense of it all, finally decides to come clean and reveals to Eli that he's a direwolf shifter.
Oh my God.
And that this link is assigned their destined mates.
Whoa.
Talk about a bombshell.
Ah.
Eli is understandably reeling from this revelation.
Right.
First, she learns about this whole shifter world, then finds out she's supposedly destined to be with a direwolf.
Right, and then she drops a bombshell of her own.
What's that?
She's a tiger shifter.
Oh my goodness.
Now, this opens up a whole new can of worms because she was totally unaware of the full extent of shifter lore. This whole concept of turning others into shifters was something she'd never even heard of.
Right, it's a taboo subject usually only done between life mates.
Really?
Which, actually, if we connect this to the bigger picture, makes Luke's decision to turn Javier later on even more significant.
Right.
Eli's revelation also raises questions about her own shifter lineage.
Okay.
If the gene passes down through the females in her family, as Luke finds out, how far back does it go?
Wow.
It's a mystery she'll have to unravel.
And just when things couldn't get more complicated, a new threat emerges.
Oh, no.
Peter Elliott.
Okay.
This guy is obsessed with proving the existence of shifters, and he poses a serious danger to both Eli and Luke. The situation escalates quickly when Elliott's associate Punbar attacks Eli.
Oh, gosh.
This attack is a major turning point in the story.
Yeah.
It reveals the depth of Luke's protective instincts, but also his darker side,
Okay.
as he's forced to kill Punbar to protect Eli.
Wow.
Then Javier, Eli's ex-husband, tries to rescue her and ends up mortally wounded.
Oh, no.
Luke is faced with an impossible choice. Let Javier die or turn him into a direwolf to save his life.
Wow, what a choice.
Turning someone into a shifter isn't something to be taken lightly.
Right.
It's a profound change with far-reaching consequences. And yet in that moment, Luke makes the decision to turn Javier, adding yet another layer of complexity to their already tangled relationships.
Wow.
Okay, so now we've got this unlikely pack forming Luke as the alpha, Javier as the beta,
Right.
and Eli, the heart of it all. It's a unique dynamic, and it really throws Eli for a loop.
Yeah.
Not only is she grappling with this whole destined mate thing, but she's also coming to terms with being a tiger shifter, which, as it turns out, is pretty rare.
Yeah, there are a lot of misconceptions and even fear surrounding tiger shifters.
Wow.
Luke, having done his research, knows that the gene only passes down through females in Eli's family.
Oh, okay.
Meaning there are no male tiger shifters.
It makes you wonder about the women who came before her, the kind of legacy she carries.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole issue of turning,
Right.
which Luke described as a taboo subject, usually only done between life mates.
Yeah.
He even mentioned a story about a lion and a dog shifter who tried to turn each other,
Oh, gosh.
resulting in some pretty horrific physical and mental scars.
Yeah, that story really highlights the risks and ethical complexities of turning.
Right,
It makes Luke's decision to turn Javier even more weighty.
right.
It raises questions about the limits of power and the potential consequences of interfering with the natural order. But in that moment, saving Javier's life and potentially gaining a pack member
Yeah.
was his priority.
And the author goes into some pretty incredible detail about the turning process itself.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a quick bite.
Right.
It's this whole ritualistic thing with Luke using his own blood and saliva to facilitate the transformation.
That's intense.
It's intense, a little gory,
Uh-huh.
but also fascinating from a biological and magical standpoint.
Yeah, you get this sense that there's a delicate balance at play, a combination of ancient magic and a deep understanding of shifter physiology.
The way the author describes Javier's transformation is so vivid.
Oh, yeah.
You can practically feel the power surging through him.
Wow.
The pain, the confusion as his human side clashes with the emerging wolf.
And then there's this amazing moment of recognition between Luke and Javier as direwolves.
Yeah.
The pack hierarchy is established almost instantly with Javier submitting to Luke as the alpha.
I love that.
It's this primal instinctive connection that goes beyond words.
It's like this ancient unspoken language of pack bonding.
Right.
Remember how Javier rubs his muzzle against Luke's face and dips his head under his muzzle? Yeah. It speaks to the deep-seated instincts that drive shifters, even those who have just been turned.
It makes you think about the different ways we communicate,
Right.
not just through words, but through actions,
Yeah.
sense even.
Yeah, remember how Eli always describes Luke's scent as this sunny, sandy beach?
Yes, and how he associates her with shade in the summer.
It's fascinating how scent plays such a crucial role in their attraction and how they recognize each other.
Yeah.
It's this primal, almost subconscious form of communication.
And it's not just Eli and Luke.
Right.
Remember how Javier initially mistakes Luke for a golden retriever because he doesn't recognize his scent?
Oh, yeah?
Then, after he's turned, he immediately recognizes Luke as the alpha, based on scent alone.
Wow.
It's a powerful example of how the shifter world operates on a completely different level of sensory perception.
Right.
And it underscores how important those subtle cues are, especially when it comes to pack dynamics and hierarchy.
Speaking of pack dynamics, that conversation between Luke and Javier after Javier turns is so revealing.
Oh, tell me about it.
Luke is upfront about wanting Javier as his beta, admitting that his direwolf instincts recognized something in Javier even before he did.
Yeah, it's a beautiful blend of human logic and primal instinct.
Right.
And Luke giving Javier the choice to accept or reject the beta position demonstrates a level of respect that's vital for a strong pass.
Yeah. Javier, being Javier, is skeptical at first,
Uh-huh.
but he's also incredibly curious.
Of course.
He bombards Luke with questions about the shifter world,
Understandable.
trying to wrap his head around this sudden life-altering change.
Imagine having your entire reality flipped upside down.
I know, right?
But it's also clear that Javier is drawn to this new world, to the strength and freedom it offers.
And that moment when he realizes that Luke's been a shifter this whole time and he had no clue.
What?
Hilarious.
Oh my God.
He's amazed and a little annoyed that he's kept in the dark for so long.
The classic friend reaction.
Yeah, but ultimately, Javier embraces this new reality, accepts Luke's offer to be the beta, and even agrees to join him in building the retreat,
Oh, wow.
which brings us to the retreat itself.
Oh, okay.
It's no longer just a personal project for Luke. It becomes this symbol of hope and community for shifters.
Luke's vision expands from wanting a safe haven for himself and Eli to wanting to create a space where shifters can be themselves, connect with nature, and support each other.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
It's like he's finally finding a purpose beyond his military passed away, to use his strength and leadership to build something truly positive.
And it's not just about providing physical space.
Okay.
It's about creating a sense of belonging, a community where shifters can feel safe and accepted for who they are.
Which is especially crucial considering the threat posed by Peter Elliott.
Right.
Luke knows that Elliott's obsession with exposing shifters could have devastating consequences for their entire community.
That's where the pack mentality comes in.
Okay.
Having a united front, a group of shifters who trust and support each other, is going to be essential in facing a common enemy.
Luke even talks about expanding the land, creating a back-to-nature environment where shifters can embrace their animal instincts and live in harmony with each other.
It's a powerful vision.
I know.
One that speaks to that core desire for freedom and acceptance that so many shifters long for.
Yeah.
And it raises the stakes in the ongoing conflict with Elliott, because every new pack member adds another layer of vulnerability.
And then there's that pivotal moment in Eli and Luke's relationship, the mating bite.
Oh my gosh.
You could practically feel the tension and anticipation building to that point.
Right.
It's clear that this is more than just a physical act. It's a symbolic merging of their souls, a commitment to a shared destiny.
The way the author describes the mating bite from both Eli and Luke's perspectives is fascinating.
I know.
Eli feels this overwhelming rush of light, a merging of their magical energies.
Wow.
Luke feels this primal urge to claim her, to mark her as his.
Yeah.
It's this raw, instinctive drive that's both exhilarating and a little frightening.
Eli even mentions that she could feel her heart trying to connect with Luke's, as if their souls were reaching out to each other.
It's such a powerful image,
I know.
highlighting how deeply their destinies are intertwined.
Right.
But the mating bite isn't without its challenges.
Of course not.
Eli struggles with the intensity of the connection, especially since Luke's direwolf magic is so strong.
She even asks him to block some of it because it's too overwhelming.
Really?
It underscores the importance of finding balance in their relationship,
Yeah.
respecting each other's boundaries and needs.
And Luke tries different techniques to adjust the flow of magic between them.
Oh, wow.
First blocking it completely, then shrinking it to create more shadow than light.
So he's really trying.
It shows a willingness to adapt and find a compromise that works for both of them.
Through this process of trial and error, they deepen their understanding of each other's magic and learn how to navigate the complexities of their bond.
Wow.
But the mating bite is just one of many challenges they face as a couple. They've got the constant threat from Elliott, the need to protect their pack, and the ongoing struggles with Javier's transformation.
It's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
But through these trials, their bonds grow stronger. Their love deepens.
Aw.
They learn to rely on each other, support each other, and face the unknown together.
So we've seen Eli and Luke go from wary neighbors to fated mates forming a pack with Javier along the way.
Right.
But a pack forms doesn't wrap everything up neatly, does it?
No, it doesn't.
There's a lot left unresolved.
Definitely.
What did you find most intriguing about the loose ends, the things the author leaves us wondering about?
Well, for me, it's the Peter Elliott situation.
Oh, yeah.
He's been lurking in the background this whole time, obsessed with proving the existence of shifters.
Right.
And now, thanks to Punbar's recordings, he actually has that proof.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
We know Elliott is ruthless,
Yeah.
but what's his next move?
Right.
Is he going to go public?
Oh.
Try to exploit shifters for his own gain?
You're right.
Or is he after something even more sinister?
And it's not just theoretical anymore, is it?
No, not at all.
He's already shown he's willing to use violence to hurt people to get what he wants.
Exactly.
So it's not just Eli and Luke in danger.
Right.
It's the whole pack, including Javier, who's just finding his feet in this new world. How do you think that danger will impact the dynamic of the pack?
I think it will force them to become even more tightly knit.
Okay.
They'll need to rely on each other for protection, for support.
Yeah.
We saw how quickly Luke reached out to Duncan the Druid for help.
Right.
I think we'll see more of that network of shifters and other supernatural beings coming into play.
Yeah.
They'll need allies if they're going to face down a threat like Elliott.
Absolutely. What about you?
What questions are swirling in your head after finishing this volume?
Well, I'm really curious about the retreat.
Okay.
Luke's vision has expanded, hasn't it?
It really has.
It's not just a safe haven for him and Eli anymore. It's about building a whole community for shifters. But can they really create a safe space when someone like Elliott is out there?
That's a good question.
Will the retreat become a target? And how will all this impact Eli?
Right.
She's just beginning to understand her own powers as a tiger shifter, her place in this world.
Yeah.
How do you think she'll handle the pressure of leading this growing pack facing down these threats.
It's a lot to ask of someone who was perfectly content with her quiet life just a few weeks ago.
I know.
But I think that's what makes Eli such a compelling character.
Yeah.
She's been thrown into this extraordinary situation, but she's rising to the challenge.
Right.
She's strong, resourceful, and she has a good heart. And she's not alone.
That's true.
She has Luke, who's fiercely protective, and Javier, who, despite his initial skepticism, is proving to be a loyal and valuable member of the pack.
And let's not forget that mating bite.
Oh, right.
It's clearly more than just a physical bond.
Definitely.
We see how deeply it connects Eli and Luke, how they share emotions and even dreams. What are your thoughts on where the author might take that?
How will this intense connection shape their lives, their destinies?
Right.
I think it's a metaphor for the kind of bond we all crave, isn't it?
Yeah.
A deep, unshakable connection with another soul. But it's not without its challenges.
Of course.
We see Eli struggling with the intensity of Luke's magic, needing him to dial it back at times.
Yeah, she does.
It makes you think about the balance we all have to find in relationships, even with our fated mates.
Absolutely. So we've got this intriguing mix of romance, danger, and mystery, all set against a backdrop of ancient magic and a world that's just begging to be explored.
So good.
What's the one thing you'd say to someone who's considering picking up a pack of forms?
I'd say buckle up and get ready for a wild ride.
Okay.
This book grabs you from the first page and doesn't let go.
I agree.
It's a story about finding strength in unexpected places, about the power of love and loyalty, and about embracing the wilderness within ourselves.
Yes.
And this is just the beginning.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I, for one, can't wait to see what happens next in the Draoithe Saga. What about you?
I'm right there with you, and to you, dear listener, I'd add this. Don't just read this story, experience it. Let yourself get swept away by the magic, the romance, the danger. Ask yourself, what would it mean to discover a hidden world, to find your place in a pack, to embrace a destiny you never imagined? And who knows, you might just find a piece of yourself reflected in the journey of Eli and Luke. Until next time, happy reading.
Thank you for your support. For more, visit opheliakey.com. Welcome to the dream. Sincerely, OK.